As you may or may not have seen on my social media, I shaved. So yeah, I shaved. I imagine that any regular viewer who is going to pop into this stream today is going to say something along the lines of, "You shaved," but that's that. We'll deal with it when it happens. Sorry, I'm closing up the shop. I really wanted time to get into this subject that I wanted to talk about today. I really wanted to have a moment to really get into it, and it worked out that my ride is not available until 8:30. So I figured I would do the live stream for the next like 20 minutes or so, really get into what I wanted to talk about, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think our cadre of YouTube randos is going to show up too heavily for this one. Sunday nights are not really the one. I don't know if a lot of my regulars will show up for this one, but if you're watching it later and you're interested based on what I just said, strap in. What I want to talk about, I'm not going to show examples because I feel like that's mean. It's maybe a little too judgmental to start showing the receipts in detail of which series I'm talking about. But I will name right at the beginning the first series that really got me thinking about this subject, and that was Justice League Unlimited. Now, if you know me, if you know the shop, you've been watching the live stream for years, you know that Justice League Unlimited, the cartoon, is, in my opinion, one of the finest versions of the Justice League that ever existed. There have been a few Justice League comics that have used the concept that the show introduced of there being like an unlimited number of Justice League members. They call them in for different missions. There's been a whole bunch of comics that have done that, and the latest ongoing Justice League series is called Justice League Unlimited and plays off of this idea. Basically, every superhero in the DC universe is a member of the Justice League, and they can be called at any moment. So let's start off with the biggest problem with the Justice League Unlimited number one is that it's not a number one. Justice League Unlimited number one is predicated and discusses the events of the DC All In special numerous times in the first issue. Okay? Now, there are a lot of DC All In. This is a line DC started at the beginning of the Absolute Universe about a year ago. DC All In. There's a lot of books in the DC All In that are predicated on the events that happened in Justice League. I'm sorry, in DC All In, the big special, and that's fine. That's okay. Justice League Unlimited does a pretty lousy job of it, in my opinion. God, we're just ripping on a trend in superhero comics that I've kept my mouth shut about for about 2 years now. Fed up, so we're gonna bring it up. Justice League Unlimited does a really lousy job of giving you the information you need about the Justice League. It's literally just a big info dump right in the first 5 pages that gives you all the information that was very nicely explained in the DC All In special. So there's already a fumble there, but it's not perfect. When you're using a special to launch a whole big line, a lot of the number ones are going to feel a little off, a little weird. Fine, whatever. The book continues to fumble major moments. Now I'm not going to name the writer. You can go look up who's writing it. He's a pretty freaking competent superhero writer. He has written some great superhero stuff, like tremendous superhero stuff, and it's just flat. He's doing very little with the characters' personalities. He's doing very little with the characters. But again, I'm not the audience for your average superhero book anymore. Like, I'm really not the guy who's reading all the superhero books. That's fine. The premise of this book is that there are a sudden new group of villains that no one knows anything about, and they go like check off lists of who it can't be because Lex Luthor's helping Superman now, and this person's gone, and this person's here, and blah blah blah. And you read 6 issues in this trade paperback, Justice League Unlimited, Volume 1, DC All In. And at the 6th issue, they reveal who it is, and oh, it actually is some of those people we said it couldn't be. Why? How? Oh, well, keep reading to find out. We're doing a giant crossover with Batman, Superman, and we're going to explain where these bad guys came from and what their plan is. What? I just finished this book. I just paid $18 for this trade paperback, and nothing happened in it? Besides the fact that the entire C-plot of the comic is predicated on the major event from the summer before, where Amanda Waller took everyone's superpowers, and now they're all messed up still. So that's a huge plot in our storyline. Okay, that's continuity comics. There's a bunch of crap that happened last year that we're still dealing with the effects of. Fine. Continuity comics are one thing. But if everything has a trade paperback, if everything is collected in a single volume, then there's supposed to be a story arc, right? There's supposed to be 5 issues, 6 issues, 7 issues, whatever you're going to put into a trade, where things are resolved, things are settled. And that did not happen in any way. Nothing is resolved or settled by the end of this book. You just read 6 issues. Nice little chunky book. And you got to read the next 6-issue book, which, oh, by the way, won't be out for another 4 months. Or you can go track down the issues of the crossover event that this led into and read those. Oh, no promise that those have a resolution either. They don't even defeat the bad guys. They figure out who they are, one of them. And then we, the reader, get to see all of them. And we see that they're a whole group of so-and-sos and this and that. I just bought this trade. You didn't even give me the end of the year at Hogwarts. You didn't finish the story and to be continued. Unacceptable. And this is a major, major trend in superhero comics that, again, it's not a big deal. It's not terrible what they unfortunately call decompressed storytelling, where you spread the story out. That can be a lot of fun. But then don't put out a trade paperback in the middle of the storyline. Delay that trade paperback by another 3 months and put the whole next storyline in it together, make it a big chunker for 10 issues and charge $35. You can't give people an ongoing trade paperback that literally has no resolution to any of its storylines. There is no resolution to the Martian Manhunter storyline. There's no resolution to the Tossed Powers storyline. There's no resolution to the Traitor within the Justice League storyline. There's no resolution to the major bad guys that they face. There's not a single resolution in the whole story. All the plots are left open when you finish this trade, and that is unacceptable. I will not be restocking this trade. I will not be recommending the final copy of this trade that I have to people, because it is not what a trade paperback is supposed to be. A trade paperback can leave things loose. It's a season of a show. You're coming back for the next season. Okay, I'll read it. It's a mid-season. If it's a small 6-issue one, it might be a mid-season of a show, but it can't leave everything open. You've got to resolve something. Someone's issue has to be fixed. And then they do it. And this is, again, the reason I didn't specifically pick this and put it as a picture up on my thing is that there is a problem here with so many superhero books. This Amazing Spider-Man has been stuck in this loop now for 6-7 years, where the trades are meaningless. Al Ewing's current run on Thor, which is about to wrap up, Immortal Thor, same situation. I could list a bunch of X books. I can list countless books to do this, but I will say, if you go and read Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, Jed MacKay's X-Men, and you read the first trade, there are things that are resolved at the end of those trades. They leave a lot of things open, but something is wrapped up. You can read Batman and Robin with this Bruce Wayne and Damian, and the first trade will wrap up some ideas that are in the storyline. Whereas 20 or 30% of the books coming out from the major publishers don't bother. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable in today's day and age when comics cost $4 or $5 per single issue. And most people are not reading entire lines. For a trade paperback to come out 6 months after a storyline ended and not have any sort of resolution in it at all. It is an insult to the reader. It is an insult to the fans, and it drives me crazy. I knew that storyline led directly into the next storyline, but I hadn't read it all. I had no idea that literally nothing is. There's literally a dude who in the first issue was like, "I'm here to kill them all," and in the last issue, he leaves with the bad guys. So the good guys know. The good guys know that he's with the bad. Why he's with the bad guys, we don't know. How the bad guys got him to listen to them, we don't know. We don't know any of it. Why the bad guys are using the specific name to do the specific things that they've been attacking the Justice League for 6 issues, we don't know. There's other weaknesses in that comic and in lots of superhero comics that I think make them not good. I don't enjoy them. Fine. But to put out an entire trade paperback worth of a name title and have not a single one of your plot lines resolved is absolutely unacceptable. I had the same problem with Nick Spencer's run on Spider-Man. Like I said, the Beyond run of Spider-Man, all of these things. I didn't have that problem with Steve Orlando's original Scarlet Witch run, but the miniseries that he's been doing since, no resolution in them. Tom Taylor's Nightwing was a perfect example of stuff that wrapped up. Tom Taylor's Teen Titans, or Titans, I guess it was called. No, it's all just one long, ongoing mess. And I think when there is so much else that you can be reading, and there are so many classic superhero books in print, DC is competing with themselves. They are making Kingdom Come for $10, New Frontier for $10, Batman, Superman, the Birth of Supergirl, $10. And you want someone to spend $18 on 6 issues that doesn't even have a resolution? Absolutely not. I just don't get it. I don't understand in today's day and age. Look, we've talked about this numerous times. Comics used to be written in a way that you could pick up any comic and it would tell you what's been going on for the last 3 or 4 issues, and you can figure out the general within an issue and the major storylines within 3 or 4 issues, and you're locked in. That really faded out in the early 2000s. It's come back for a few titles, but generally it's not what's done anymore. We do these really slow, long storylines, but they have a resolution. Especially when they're written for the trade, when they're written for the collected edition, they resolve themselves by the end of the collected edition. Maybe a few or 4 or 5 storylines, and 2 of them get resolved, but 2 are left open for you to keep reading, for you to want to keep reading. But to not resolve any of them, and I've seen this on a few titles nowadays, and it really drives me crazy. Meanwhile, you've got the Absolute line, which DC is letting do its own thing. That's coming out concurrently. That's got a long tail, and every issue is like a feast. Every issue has a whole little adventure or story for the most part. Not all of them. Sometimes they're 2 issues, sometimes 3, but they're mostly substantial issues, and each trade ends in a very definitive place. They made sure that after 6 issues or 7 issues, the storylines were wrapped. What are they going to do next? Okay, Wonder Woman is now living in Gateway City. What's she going to do? And the next storyline begins where she makes herself a home. That works. But not resolving it all is just, in today's day and age, unacceptable to me. I don't usually just come on here to blast something. I don't usually come on here to just be negative. So I will remind everybody that there are tons of other great comics that have come out. I read the Hellfire Gala Rivals book, and it was a lot more fun than I expected. The regular Hellfire Gala, it's a beautiful book. If you read all the Krakoa stuff from the X-Men, and you've been wondering how you don't want to read all the new books, you've dropped off X-Men, you're done, but you're wondering how everyone's feeling, what they're up to, what their books are, maybe you're thinking of jumping on the X books because you heard they were good, you could read the regular Hellfire Gala, not the Rivals one, but the regular continuity one, and you'll be caught up on what Kitty Pryde's up to, what Cyclops is up to, what Rogue and Gambit are up to, and if you want, you can jump onto those books. Or you can go buy their trade paperbacks. They've all put out 1 trade paperback and are soon to release their 2nd trade paperback. Uncanny, the Gail Simone Rogue Gambit team, has already put out their 2nd trade. And they're only 19 issues in, you can jump on there. There's so much out there that you can read. Anyway, Toxic Avenger Team Up #2 just starts. He drops out of a plane. He goes, "Well, that was weird," and you don't know what happened in #1. There's so much stuff that you can go out right now and get and enjoy. And in trade paperback, you've got Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman. Those just came out in trade paperback. You've got the Terrifics. Okay, you've got 30 issues of Jeff Lemire and then Gene Yang writing the Terrifics. Mr. Terrific leads a multiversal team with Plastic Man and some other great characters, Metamorpho. Okay, it's expensive. It's $60, but it's 30 issues of a tremendous comic. And you should go buy 6 issues that don't resolve? No. Absolutely, absolutely unacceptable, as I've been saying. I think I've really, bashed this into the ground, made my point as well as I can. Obviously, I do not recommend Justice League Unlimited for these very reasons. And I will be back tomorrow, hopefully a little bit more positive, a little bit more upbeat, talking about some good things in comics. Great graphic novel that I read over the weekend that is out on Tuesday. I'll probably do a little bit of a show and tell for that tomorrow. Until then, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind, which it was just not very kind. I'll try to be better tomorrow.